I'm gonna do Carlos King a favor and watch Love and Marriage Huntsville since nobody else is. So we open with the misogynist, and he's planning for his little event, where he will be joined by the queen of falling down the stairs of life, the resident of the mold-filled edifice, Sheree. Meanwhile, with Mel, she's bringing Tiffany and Kiki to her therapist friend since things didn't go well at the ladies' tea. Please, you was just there to spill some tea. Now Mel is hell-bent on them two getting along. The reason they don't get along is because Tiffany is always sticking her nose in somebody else's business, and Kiki just wants to stay on the show for the check and to get on Tisha's nerve. I get on Tisha's nerve too. It's easy. Mel, I feel like you're more of a producer than a castmate on the show, and you should exit. That way we won't have no reason to look at Martell. Because him pretending to be with Sapphic Sheree, girl, lesboon. Oh God, but Kiki is still saying, what I said last night, I know my father, that's not a dig at you. It was a dig. A diggy dig. So they've squashed things between each other, and now they can all be cool in a big group. However, after that, Tisha meets with Kimmy and Stormy to talk about the trifling tea. Stormy said, I'm not here for the teas, if you please. So now Tisha's bringing up apparently Tiffany knew Kiki and was sending her stuff to gas her up on Twitter when the show was trending. Well, when all 25 of us tweet about it. I mean, ain't nobody watching the show, so half of it's your family. I bet you Tisha mama behind this. But now they want to say that Tiffany's two-faced, but we know this. So this is basically Tiffany setting up her own plot line. She kept saying, I don't know Kiki, and I don't want to be around her if she gonna talk about Tisha like that. Meanwhile, you're online amping her up to keep going after Tisha, so you have something to talk about. And Tiffany also downplayed Tisha's in her and her big uglies company. Ooh, Tiffany been stirring the turd like she does. Not only did she say Martell is the one really in control of the company, which he is, but she said, child, Kiki told about the chi-tay-tay during one of her tantrums. Well, at least the heifer is too embarrassed to come forward. I mean, if I had slept with Marceau, I wouldn't tell a soul. So we're at Martell's magazine release party, and it's going to be a showdown twixt Stormy and Tiffany. Stormy's like, I thought the heifer was messy, and I see I was right. So, child, they didn't set Tiffany up. Tiffany's sitting down talking to Kiki thinking they best buds. And Stormy comes over and says, oh, I see y'all made up after the tea party. And Tiffany like, oh yeah, we had lunch at Mel's. Stormy says, well, I'm just so confused because when I met with Tisha and Kimmy, Tisha said that Tiffany was texting you, Kiki. And Kiki said, This is when you find out blood is thicker than water. Kiki said you, in fact, did text me about a year ago, saying that you were happy that I was going after Tisha for not putting her business about the infidelity in the street and just dancing around it for 5 seasons. Oh, God. Tiffany trying to backpedal and pussy pop. When someone says love this, it's in support of you. So you're in support of her telling the business. Oh, she wants to say, I was supporting the kiki, not the tell the business. Girl, I'm sorry, I'm too old to buy your bullshit. And then you're going to say, I don't know what the post was about, then why you sending it? So since Tiffany's backpedaling, Stormy going to get Tisha so we can hold feet to fire. So now Tisha's over there and she's saying, oh, this is between you two. Kiki said, me and Tisha, we cousins. Well, no shit. Well, clearly you need a reminder because you thought that your backbiting wouldn't come around. Stormy's like, look, let me break it down. You gonna say you pro Tisha, but then go behind her back with her cousin. Then gonna act like you don't know the cousin. Tiffany tries to spin it again. Well, I guess Kiki feels like we know each other like that because I said love this on a text message. Stop trying to downplay your bullshit away. Kiki said, I don't know you like that, but I know you. However, Tisha's like, look, y'all just started off on the wrong foot. This ain't that big of a deal. However, Tisha says, I have a bigger issue with Tiffany. Cause she out here talking about my business ain't mine and I can't control my husband and my husband running me. Well, your husband is putting you out, but if you gonna tell it to my friend, they gone run and tell that. So since you're so inquisitive, a good journalist goes straight to the source. Why don't you question me about my merge? And Tiffany says, well, since you're a majority owner, you shouldn't get kicked out of your office. And Kiki says, but you don't know their ins and outs. So if she's comfortable with it, what makes you the authority to say what should and shouldn't happen? You might need a lesson in, bitch, I don't need no lesson. So now Kiki is calling Tiffany a cuckoo bird. I think she's more of a pigeon. Stormy gonna say, not a cuckoo. So now Tisha trying to pull Kiki aside. I mean, she just called her a cuckoo. Tisha said, I got a bone to pick with Tiffany too, but since she already getting ate up, I'ma wait and crack it open later for my own scene. But now the guest of dishonor arrived, Martell and Sheree, here to bore us through the day. Well, Carlos, you finally managed to get a Bravo crossover. Kimmy said they look like a business arrangement because they are. God, Martell, how do you get this suit jacket off? I mean, I know you've got a good build, but this has got to be uncomfortable. It's so tight. So we see Martell's little cover, and I think they should have called it asshole rather than upscale just for this issue. Because ain't nothing upscale about Martell. Girl, he ain't even thanked Sheree. But then again, I could see, forgetting the lady in your life when she's not the lady in your life. Y'all should have had more rehearsal for this. Child, Martell's so airbrushed you can't recognize him. But it's not that he looks bad in real life, because Marceau, I know you about to say something, and your ugly ass needs to keep your mouth closed. You look 25 years older than you are. You look 25 years older than your younger brother. You don't have room to talk, bro. You ain't got room to talk. Oh, God, but now Tiffany sees Sheree and says, let me start some shit. Why are you asking Martell's new boo the tough questions? What are you to Martell? Have you met Mel? I met her like once. Well, I figured you'd know her since, you're going to be around her kids. Sheree ain't going to be around nobody's kids. Sheree done raised her kids, maybe her grandkids. I can see Sheree with her grandkids, but not Martell's kids. Sheree don't want that man or any man. Sheree said, well, we once met in Birmingham and she came to take a picture with me and she had little Martell. She knew who I was, obviously, because she came to take a picture with me. Sheree's like, don't act like I wasn't famous first, heifer. She's following my blueprint, let's be real. So you haven't seen her since then, but you've been around her kids. See, you trying to act like their relationship is real with this fake concern. Oh, I hate fake concern. Tiffany, you ain't shit, but at least you're doing something on this boring-ass show. He said when he has the kids, she's not around, and she's like, well, we've got to fix that. Do you think he still has feelings for Mel? Well, when he was with her, he treated her like shit, so his feelings are moot and invalid. Then she gonna say, well, he did cheat. How you feel about that? She said, well, as a cheater, what are your thoughts? Nobody's ever caught me licking Les, but you've admitted to gold digging on camera. I'd tend to yours rather than worrying about mine. But Tiffany trying to drive this Martell still has feelings for Melody. You just ain't had a toxic ex. He doesn't love her. He just wants to control her because he can't have her. That's all that is. Daddy love. Daddy love. Sheree like he ain't gonna hate the heifer. That is the mother of his child. But again, Tiffany, you're acting like Sheree cares about Martell for one and a man for two. He doesn't have enough lip for Sheree. Not enough lip. Now, I agree with Sheree on this. I would look at him differently if he didn't care. I'm like, if you still ain't got a little bit of love and civility for your ex, I'm like, it takes two to tango. I don't want that to be me. Tiffany said, so because you can put the pussy down like that, you think you can keep him? And Sheree done had it. She's not used to getting grilled like this except at the reunion. But the next day, Sheree and Martell are hanging out, just the two of them. And Sheree whining about the grilling. Oh, God. Sheree said, I know we talked about marriage and blending family. Sheree, your kids are grown and grass. 2, you ain't marrying a man. and especially a broke man. I mean, I appreciate you getting the marbles out of your mouth, but you're still not that good of an actress. But Tiffany was asking very intrusive questions. Well, I mean, somebody got to get a plot line out of you because you've just been standing around collecting a check like a bump on a stump. Oh, God, so Martel's going over I was walking her to her car because I'm a gentleman, this mother of my kids. You were doing it to be the shithead that you are. You were doing it to be manipulative and controlling and let her know, I still have say over your life. You're a pig. He was chasing behind her throughout the entire event. He talking about the family dynamic I built as a man or as a husband. But what about the other family that you had on Mel? What about the other child that you had as a man and a husband? Not a husband to the woman that you were sleeping with, not a husband to the father of that child, but you were still a man and a husband. What about them? Martel may not have feelings for Mel, but he ain't got a feeling for you either, Sheree, and you don't want a feeling. Ooh, y'all are some struggling actors. You need some lessons. Tyler Perry wouldn't even have y'all understudy. Tiffany should shut her mouth, Martel, but you should have shut your legs to single women as a married man. Oh gosh, Sheree gonna say from what I know of you, you love the institution of marriage. That's why he cheated all through his marriage, because he loves it so much. Well, that was the shit, so now Mel gonna have to check Messy Tiff.